lift trucks. They also help with accident investigations. Why don't you give them a call? 201-546-0518.
GS Radio, the best internet radio station worldwide. Providing the best in music and talk shows. Go to www.gsradionj.com and check out the best internet station in the world. You're listening to GS Radio Internet Radio Station powered by GMG LLC.
Log into gyroscopeme.com. The hottest online radio station in the world. GS Radio all day, all night, worldwide. Powered by Gyroscope Media Group, LLC.
DJ Dan Soulful House Nation. I'm coming to you live from the 8th floor. Goodness. Well, we have a great day lined up for you. Just a quick recap. As you know, last week we had Les Calloway from Mix Musicologist, the gentleman who runs the Soulful House Music Collage. And of course, he has guest DJs on every week, so that's what's popping. Great interview. Go back and check that out. We're gonna, after we do that, we're gonna give you kind of a play the number one song according to Track Source this week. Of course, we're gonna play a little snippet of it. Then next, after we do that, we're going to give you a little update, tell you about the weekend, and then after that, we're gonna play our classic. Bringing on our guest of the week. It's KOFFEE Paige, and then we'll go into the Shazam Free Zone. So really good show today. We have KOFFEE Paige the Flowtress. I'm telling you, you're gonna love this interview. So listen, Chat, why don't you play the number one song according to Track Source? It's by the Journeyman, and it's Anna Marie Johnson. It's called "Wanna Be Down." You may recognize this from the R&B tune from back, I'd say maybe late 90s, early 2000s, or something like that. Originally done by Brandy, and so see what you sing. So, Chat, let's roll. As usual, when we play a little snippet, this is nasty. We'll have it shutting it down and getting us out. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Dan Soulful House Nation coming to you live from the 8th floor. Hey, listen, what a big deal this is. Our guest is here. I'm super excited. I'm telling you. Listen, you're in for a real treat here. We're gonna go let her in here, and what's gonna happen? You listen. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Now, so listen. This weekend, I went to the big deal New Jersey Spring House Music Conference Weekender. Dawood and his team put that together. And I got to tell you something. This, first of all, this was so good. Okay, so let me just break it down for you for a minute here. Okay, number one is that a lot of people, including me, thought about it. A lot of people talked about it, including me. A lot of people got people together with some discussions and made some sort of plans, including me, but Dawood pulled it off. Now, listen, so we're there, and I got to tell you, a lot of great people came out from the industry. It was kind of a who's who. I was able to meet like some really, really great people, and a lot of people I met knew them only online, and now I was able to physically meet them. So that was very, very powerful. Now, some of the things that happened, there were panels. In addition to the panels, there were performances, and there was dancing. Okay, the first night you had the lady DJs. Let me tell you something. They ripped it. They ripped it. No kidding. I put up some lives. I know Momo put up some lives, and other people put up some lives. So go back and check out those lives. You can get a sense of it. Hey, also too. Then came back Saturday, of course, panels, and then they had the awards. Gave out awards to DJs, producers. They gave them out to. I'm going to try to do this from my head. And let's see. Okay. Mark Francis, DJ Beloved, Jihad Muhammad, Mark Lewis. Plus there was Chanel. There was Viola Sykes. Please forgive me on that. It's just that was so exciting. Then they came back, of course. Oh yeah, Aaron K. Gray and Kenny Bobian. In addition to that, they gave out top of the awards, and I'm probably forgetting something. I apologize for that. Oh yeah, as far as DJs and women, there was DJ Nubian, Zandy, Shonda CJ. Okay, so it was really, really magical. It was really, really magical. And again, it's the first annual, and it was just so good to see our audience coming to honor our audience. That was very, very powerful. And I'm going to encourage you to come next year. I'm giving Dawood a big shout out, his whole team. Hey, let's not forget his wife, who was right there with him the whole time, and also I'm sure she had to give the go-ahead to be able to make this thing happen. So just a big, big shout out to them. And again, it's very, very powerful. And finally, we are getting some of the recognition that we deserve. We've been putting in work a long time, and it's like, okay. Then on May 13th, you have coming up, you have SMB is doing the pink and white. And it's very, very important regarding this, because this is not only a party / dance / event / get together, but it honors First Lady of SMB. And in addition to that, it also brings awareness to the whole cancer thing, which took her. To me, cancer is such a stupid disease. And I say that because cancer comes in and it kills the host. And it's like, it's just a stupid disease. And well, listen, I knew Alice laughed at my joke. So right there, we were connected. and it's just a heartbreak to see her go. But this event honors her, and it honors the cause. That's going to be on May 13th. East going to be a big event. Then on May 20th, you have Hope and Naeem going to have their fashion show. That's going to be very, very big. Just so you know, they had the VIP seats are already sold out. That's how big it's going to be. It's going to be at the DoubleTree in Newark on Frontage Road. So there's like a lot. Also, there's room blocks. So if you want to get there and hang out, stay the night, you can do that too. So it's just really, 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 really powerful stuff going on. Hey guys, if you have some things that you want to share and you want to get the word out, hey, let us know. We're happy to share. So wow, that's it on that. Hey, listen, let's do this. Let's go and play our song, our classic song in there. And this one is by somebody you know. Hey, Chuck, play the number 2 song on that list that I put there. All right? This is called Raw, Uncut. Now, as usual, we're going to play a snippet. It was nasty. We'll have it shutting us down and muting us out.
This message will not be televised.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen.
You will not hear it on Fox 5.
Uh-oh, hold on a second. Royalty has entered the building, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get on my knees. Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Only you can get the... Let me go to you, my brother. No, I insist. I love you so much, and I appreciate
Oh, you
you.
look absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
Where am I sitting back?
Yeah, right over here.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
How's
Let me
going with you?
Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'm super excited. KOFFEE is here. And what you don't know, besides her talent, is that she's a fashionista. How about that?
Ooh,
Let me tell you.
I used to be.
She always brings it. Let me tell you.
I'm barely holding on right now, boo. I am barely holding on. I just, I used to be.
Now, listen, let me tell you something. I'm sitting right next to her, and I see how she's bringing it. And plus, she smells good, too.
Ooh,
I say.
especially for you. It's called Chanel, honey.
Okay, all right now.
I have to bring out the best when Dan give you a call. You know you can't. You can't say no, because this brother is one hard-working brother, and I appreciate you always thinking of me.
Thank you. And like I say, I'm just happy that you would say yes to come out, because let me tell you something. KOFFEE is high level, and you're going to see why as we start to have these conversations here. So anyway, for those of you who don't know or maybe need a refresher, just tell us a little bit about you, like where you're from, that kind of stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so most people know, but I started out as a hip-hop artist, thanks to my cousin Ella Sensei and Tame One, and started out as a girl hip-hop group. It was Coffee and Cream. Okay. And then it just it went on a hiatus for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And then I just rebirthed myself back into house music, thanks to my dearest brother DJ Pookie. And DJ Pookie started playing my vocals just over whatever track he thought was hot.
Okay.
And so he started playing my vocals over whatever track. We didn't record anything. These are vocals that I already had in my catalog. Excuse me, baby, can you just look at my pocketbook? And you know this is live, and this is there's a list of DJs and producers I want to thank.
Oh, okay.
It's on a piece of paper there.
See, I told you two big time. Go ahead, now.
He brought me a typical man. Look, y'all, he brought me my whole pocketbook. That's all right. Thank you so much. And he brought me everything, car keys, and so keys. And so we were at a party in Montclair, and he played. No, I'm sorry. My mind is on a freeze right now. Joey Mazza.
Oh, he was at the...
Joey Mazza was the DJ.
Okay.
And we had New York in the house. And New York was in the house heavy. I remember Ray McCall was there. And so when Joey Mazza played these particular vocals, I can't recall what they were at this point,
Okay.
but he played it over a track, and Ray McCall went up to the DJ booth, I remember, and he said, "Whoa, what is that?" Because it was so different. It wasn't, there was no real spoken word artist in house. There were many people that did spoken word, but they also sung and things like that. So spoken word was the only thing I knew how to bring to the table. That was my only thing that I brought to the table. And so he introduced me to Ray, and Ray said, "Listen, this is something else. I got to get you to meet Quentin Harris." So I didn't know who Quentin Harris was. I didn't know anything much about who was who. And so I said, "Oh, okay." And he set up an interview for me to meet with Quentin Harris in his New York studio. It was a beautiful studio off of 42nd Street in New York City. And on the spot, I wrote this song called Paradise. And it was just an instant hit. It went to #1 on the charts, and Strictly Rhythm Records picked it up. And that's basically how I got into house music.
Wow. Now, like, you probably, before you started performing, you probably were aware of house music.
Of course.
Yeah. So, like, who were some of the people that you were checking for, say, back in the day, or maybe influences or whatever?
Thank you for that question, because I was always a Zanzibar head. Now.
Okay.
It was always Tony Humphrey, and Tony Humphrey and T. Scott.
Sure.
Naeem Johnson for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
So I was always partying, and I was always a house head. But when it came to my musical side, because originally, as a poet, I just fit in with hip hop more so. And so, yeah, definitely Tony Humphrey and Naeem Johnson.
Now, most people just listen. What made you say, you know what? You had this conversation regarding the spoken word. Somebody recognized you, saw your talent.
Right.
But what made you say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Well, I'm going to get real personal. I have been married for many years. And my husband went to jail. He got locked up. And I shared a lot of stories before, but I never shared this. So I will do this with you, Dan. Right. So 19 years I was married, and it kind of pulled me out of music, because my thing was, when you get married, just you and your husband, and we had a family and stuff like that. And my husband, once he got locked up, it was just, and I knew he had 10 years to do. I had just started writing. It was a form of just going somewhere mentally, so I could feel, I can feel like I can cope with what was ahead of me. So I started writing, and I started going back in the studio, because that's my love, And so that's what made me get back into becoming that artist again and getting into myself again, because when something like that happens, I ended up losing everything that I had. I had 3 salons. I'm also a licensed beautician. And I had 3 salons, and when my husband got locked up, we lost everything. And so that's what made me, start back writing, because that is my love. It's a sense of calm for me.
Can I, folks, let me just share something with you. She says salons, license. Let me tell you something. I didn't know that before, but I can see it. I'm right here, and I can see it. I can see it. And let me tell you why I say that. Okay, so a lot of people dress up. Put it this way. Like, if I said, hey, I painted this room, it would look like I painted it. I mean, I could tell you this with a hammer and a screwdriver, but after that, I'm kind of a little bit,
I don't believe that, Dan.
But, I mean, when I tell you, look, I mean, down to the nail polish, to the hair, everything is...
No. Stop it.
So, I'm telling you, when she said, okay, in the salon, I said, yeah, I see it, because she's so, like, again, I like to say it, it's true. Like, see, you're Gucci clean, I'm Sears clean. You see, there's a difference.
Well, actually, let me just tell you, I'm into my damn self. You see this here bag here? Can y'all see this? It says KP.
KP.
Someone ordered that from me.
All right now.
And it's Coffee Page. I'm not really into supporting those big old people who don't really give a damn about us. Not so much, but I know what you mean, Dan.
Let me tell you something. She looks, I'm telling you. Now, how about this? You have perspective. You've been around since Zanzibar, and you're doing your thing. Where do you see house music going at this point? What's your how you see it?
Well, I'm real happy with the direction, of house music, because house music is something that will never die. And I kind of get upset when people say things like house music is dying because of this or because of that. No, honey, it will never die. And, it's so much talent out there.
Oh, yes.
It's unbelievable. It's amazing. And you guys just did the weekend.
Yeah, we were there.
With some of the younger DJs. And they know our music. And just like they know our music, there's a whole slew of young people that know our music. And around the world, house music is something that just brings unity.
Right.
No matter what color you are. It always reminds me of Woodstock. And so it just brings people together. It will never die. I am happy with the direction, but I would like to see people doing more, what can I say, exploring who's who, what's what.
Now, talk to us.
A lot of people just jump in and they say, I'm a house head. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And they start doing things accordingly. But they have no clue of who paved the way.
Oh, okay, got you.
And so I'm a person, no matter what level I'm on, I'm always going to shout out and pay homage to those who paved the way. Lolita Holloways, the Gwen Guthrie, the Frankie Knuckles, Larry Levans. So I always pay homage to those that paved the way, because without them, it would really be no us.
Right.
And so I see a lot of people they like the music and so on, and they cling to the fact that I'm a house head because I know nothing wrong with the song, but Follow Me or, just your average club songs.
Got you.
But they have no idea of how it started.
let's go into that a little bit further, if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all.
Okay, all right. Now, so if you look into it, the house music, the original house music was that sound that you can argue back and forth, came out of Chicago, came out of New York, whatever, but we all know what that original sound was.
Right.
Then, of course, later there was techno, there's trance, there's jungle, there's EDM, there's, trip, all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
But it all stemmed from that original sound.
That's soulful.
That original, right. And what I find amazing is that they have whole festivals, events, etc., and the originators are not brought into it.
Not at all.
Okay, so listen. Now, blessings to them. EDM, which is a form of house, it's a descendant of the original house music, that four on the floor. But again, let's go back just a minute. All right, now, if you look, it's like artists age out, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Just like if they're in, like I used to do volunteer work with Children Aid and Family Services, and then you had young adults that aged out of the system, and then in the sense they were kind of like on their own. Right. Okay, maybe they could get some help, some whatever. But at the same time, for me, it's like when you get to a certain point with house music, it's kind of like you can age out. Right. So when you have the younger people coming in, I'm saying, why aren't they reaching back? Because maybe now they have the floor, so to speak. Why aren't they? Listen, you see the same thing in hip hop. Wait, look. So I go back to hip hop from the door. I'm telling you straight up. Now I know, okay, and I love the current guys too, but I know that a Big Daddy Kane could step with him. I know. I know Busta Rhymes could keep up with him. You better know it.
You better know it. We know that.
And it's like, okay, so not only do you recognize them, but I think they shouldn't age out, so to speak. And in my opinion, I'd like to see them go back and get some of these people, especially now. Not to say that there's the people on the Terry Hunters, the Louie are not still doing their thing, but there are younger people that are coming up, like you said. I'd like to see them get on, but I'd also like to see them reach back. Just my thoughts. I bring that up.
Thank you, and I would like to speak on that. Mm-hmm. And it goes back to what I kind of mentioned. Let me just say, for instance, let's say Beyonce.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We all love Beyonce. Well, most of us love Beyonce. Mm-hmm. Most talented female in the business. Mm-hmm. To me, this is just my opinion. Mm-hmm. She decides she wants to do something house. Mm-hmm. We really, really appreciated that. Mm-hmm. But to me, what would have made it even so much better, she's in a position that she could have came for one of us. She doesn't, the song that she put out is, to me, is definitely not house. But it's selling as a house song because she's Beyonce. She have the money to put it out on every platform that she want. At first, a lot of people wasn't feeling the song, but then it kind of grew on you because you hear it all over everywhere because this is Beyonce, it's house, and she was she was raising house out of the dead and all of these things. Where if you're on a platform like that, then you say, listen, let me tap into the house scene and see what artists are hot. Because I want to do something to represent house music because I like it. I love it. Maybe I can get on with one of the house artists or something. I could have respected her gangster much more had she reached out to someone in house and got someone to really produce the track. We have so many great producers here. Why didn't you reach out for one of them? We have so many great artists here. You like house music. Why didn't you reach out to one of us?
Hey.
Why did you try to put out something yourself and call it house, which we as house people, you can't fool us. I don't care how you do it, Dan. If we on the dance floor and you F up a song, we gonna call you out. If you ain't blending it right, we're calling you out. So you can't tell us something is house when it isn't. But the good thing about it is that the house community is nothing but love. So we supported the song anyway. We've seen so many DJs trying to make a remix for it. They was trying real hard, but no matter what they do, it still is not and does not sound great remixes, but it still doesn't sound house. And so I think that was an opportunity for her to put us on a map in a better way than showcasing herself and claiming it as house. Something else you said, but I forgot.
That's okay. That's right. I for those of you who've watched me before, you know I too have a photographic memory. It's just that it's undeveloped. Anyway, but let's go back to that a minute. It's like, okay, so now you got the platform. Hey, reach back and get some of these people who like make the soulful, or you want to do the Afro or the gospel, whatever. Okay, wait a minute. What about spoken word? That would have been. Hey, wait a minute.
Would have been on that Beyonce, like, girl, do it. Okay, I'm coming in next, honey.
Yeah. So again, you know, it's kind of like there's opportunities, and there's people who have the platform, and
choose to capitalize off of us.
Yeah, I don't know that they reach out in the way. Because look, I'll tell you right now. Let's say if the phone rang right now and it's Beyonce. I'm going to take that call.
This is what I'm saying.
I'm going to take that call. And then, too, there's other artists out there.
Drake. He loves house.
Right. Hey, listen. Hey, he did what he did, which was fine. But, hey, wait a minute. How about some collaborations with some straight-up house music producers? And we got so much talent, all right? How about some artists? I mean, you could just go on and on. So that's the thing that, to your point, I would like to see them do. Okay, so now we just played, the number one song with Track Source this week is Wanna Be Down by the journeyman Anna Marie Johnson. And that's really a remake of Brandy's I Wanna Be Down. Okay, so, hey, what about Brandy reaching out and saying, hey, Brandy, if Brandy makes a call, you're going to take the call. I'll take the call. And I know you don't have to take the call, but I'll take the call. But I'm just saying. So anyway, I'm more than 1,000% agree with you on that.
And it's kind of like house. We've been so accepting of just the fact we do it for the love and it's okay and that's all right. And whereas that other people coming in, they're coming in looking to make money off of us. They're coming in pretending like they were artists all the while when they were never artists. They coming in pretending like they were DJs all the while, but they were never DJs. And they're coming in looking to expand off of the hard work that we have put in, blood, sweat, and tears that we have put in. You know, I've seen DJs back in the day bring the music out to the courts and in the projects. Nobody paid them a dime, but they carried all the equipment, so on and so forth. We put in work, and these artists that are coming into the scene now that are already mainstream, because really, our music is the most powerful music there is. It's played mainstream, but we aren't getting called on a mainstream level. You know, a lot of times they don't even know who the artist is. It's being played on the radio. I heard many people say, "Koffee, you know, they never say your name. I heard your music," or no matter what artist it is that have a hit song, a lot of people out there don't know who the artists are. They know who the DJ is. They know who the producer is, but they don't know who the artist is. So I don't know if that plays a factor with mainstream artists not knowing who to reach out to, because we do ourselves an injustice.
What do you think about, I hear this all the time, and it's true to a large extent, is that we have to bring younger people into it. Okay, now to be able to do that. So let's say you do. So the question is, and from your perspective, how do we bring younger people into it? Are we willing to listen to their interpretation and or twists on the music? Do we need to pair? I mean, what's your perspective on that? Or we just saying, you know what? Hey, listen. Billy Bob was into Motown when he was that age, and now, of course, Motown's gone, and forget about it. Or what's your thoughts on that?
I think we should continue to build, do more events, like maybe over the summer, because the summertime have the biggest crowd. And so this is a park concert with all of the young kids. Pull them all in there, and now they rocking the whole park.
Right.
Give them a spotlight, not just a set on a big platform that, with this DJ, that DJ. Give them the whole set. Let them introduce themselves. Maybe do this once a year, annual, and get them out there. And then maybe someone that produce music, put them under their wing. I know Beloved, and some of them put a lot of the young people under their wing, and Dawu put a lot of. But if more people reached out and put these young kids under the wings, and just create more platforms for them to introduce themselves at, because we have talented young singers. I know for me, years ago, I used to, and I talk about this all the time, I used to do a show called much like this, but it was on in a nightclub, and we had it set up. At that time, Oprah Winfrey was the show to watch. So in my mind, when I do things, I like to do it on a big platform and extravagant. So we had it set up like you would have thought you were in an audience of Oprah Winfrey show. We had the stage, the platform. We had people like Louie Vega. We had people like Ray Goodman and Brown, the politicians, everybody coming in. And me and Queen Amina, we were the host and co-host of the show. And so we would dress up in our gowns and get, we would just do it on a high level. And I opened up the stage for new entertainers, and my main focus was to spotlight new poets and new spoken word artists. So we used the platform to introduce new people, young people, all types of talent. And it was me, it was Tyrone Francis, it was Naeem Johnson, it was Jahad Muhammad, it was Devious, and of course my and Urel, he was the cameraman, and Van also. But we put this together. G Storm was my other director. We put this together with hopes in bringing in a whole different kind of audience into house. So more things like that we need to do and show that these young kids, they got it. Instead of when they're playing, I see a lot of older people say, when is so-and-so going to come on? But these young people are hitting it. They know what's happening.
Right.
Naeem Johnson started when he was 17 on the radio.
Right.
And still to this day, he's relevant.
Yes. Yeah.
He
Absolutely.
opened the door for all of these main DJs that you see now.
Right.
And when I say, and I'm going to speak on this, when I say the respect and the disrespect, this brother Naeem Johnson is up there with Tony Humphrey. He's up there with Timmy Regisford. He's up there with Louie Vega. He's up there. But he's humble. He opened the door and paved the way. I mean, because a lot of people have so little respect for respecting those before them, they don't respect those that have paved the way. We hurt ourselves in this genre. Like you said, with hip-hop, no matter if they didn't like each other, you would see them pull everywhere. I gotta shout out Curtis Blow. This person might not even like Curtis, but he was the first one doing the scratches, so I gotta shout out Run DMC, because without Run DMC, they paid homage, and it keeps it going. But now you see these newer people come in, they're hating on what they don't know. And who they don't know.
Let's talk about spoken word. Spoken word is more and more. In the beginning, I didn't recognize spoken word. Let me keep it real with you. And more, I'm hearing it. I'm playing it more and more. Talk to us about spoken word. Tell us what it is. What makes a good song, and what's your process for making a track?
Well, I'm not going to give out my ingredients.
Okay, well, I don't need to
but I will say this.
Okay, I know. I guess what I'm asking you
yeah.
is, do you take it from personal experience? Do you look at situations? I mean, that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
Gil Scott Heron, I always loved how he flowed over those tracks. And coming from hip hop, I knew how to read music. I know how to flow the music. I know what it takes to make a good song. It's an art to being a spoken word artist. And this is what I get mad at, that people don't respect. Not so much the producers, because the producers get it. But a lot of people just wake up in the morning, I could do that. I could do spoken word. Or I always did spoken word. When in fact, there's an art. You got to know how to stick and move with the track. You got to know when to come in, when to shut the hell up, when to come back in. You don't want to just be because people get lost. And so this is why my style in the beginning, when I first came into the scene, I had producers say, "Yo, KOFFEE, you so dope. I love you, but I just don't know where spoken word is going to go." They was afraid. And I'm going back 20 years. They were afraid. And I could let it do either one or two things: hurt me or make me say, "Well, you just don't know me." And so then when they would listen, they say, "Well, damn, it's not really spoken word. It's, she's doing some other stuff over a track." I can't. So, it's not as easy as people think. Everybody wants to do something but they might think they're gorgeous or pretty or got a body. Hey, look, or my man is a DJ or this and that. Let me get on the scene. Hey, I could do this. But it's an art to spoken word. And people get it. People hear. And they know what sounds musically and sonically correct and what just sounds like this is just something. I remember Naeem Johnson told me one day, he said, "KOFFEE," he said, "when you make a song, they become a hit. People remember the songs. They sing it over and over. They might not even know you, but if they play, oh, I know that song." Then you got people that's just, it looks like they're constantly busy. Every time you see them, they making music. They doing shows, but you ask somebody, "Well, what song do they make?" I don't know. And I always want to be an artist, because I'm not going to be here. Nobody's going to be here forever. But I always wanted to make songs and music that people get it. That they understand, that they get it, that they keep singing it and singing it over and over and over again, which is different from just saying, "I made 5 songs, I made 20 songs," but nobody really knows what those songs are.
Right. One of the things that I've noticed, and this is, let me tell you what, KOFFEE is big time. Let me prove it to you.
I don't know.
Name some of the people that you have worked with, producers, artists, writers, whatever. See now, right there, you're gonna see how big time she is. Okay.
Oh,
is there anybody on your bucket list? Now, go ahead.
This time, Dan, I had look y'all, because my mind is up. Somebody always call me and say, "You didn't mention me." I might not mention everybody here, but I brought along my list.
Okay.
And so some of the wonderful producers that I have had the privilege of working with, Dan, they hold dear in my heart.
Okay.
Whether we speak today, they brought something in my life that I will always forever stay connected. And I've worked with Quentin Harris, Adam Rios, Louie Vega, Timmy Regisford, Tony Humphrey, John Morales, Jovan, Tyrone Francis, Mark Francis, Tony Touch.
I'm on my toes
Luke
now.
Obeya, Charles McDougal, Wayne Williams, shout out Chicago brother, DJ Spin, Nervous Record, the whole crew, Naeem Johnson, Freeze, Scoob, and now Jahad Muhammad.
See that? I'm all
And
out.
I've written songs for and with artists like Stephanie Cook, Dawn Tallman, Daryl DiBonneau, and yes.
Folks, I'm out of fingers and toes.
That just names a few, but
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of fingers and toes. Did
Yeah.
I tell you she's big time. So, okay. Got excited for a minute.
we all right over here.
So, okay. So, like, a lot of people try different things, do different things.
Right.
So, how does a Koffee get on with all these super producers, all these super people, all this thing? I mean, what don't us mere mortals understand here?
I'm just going to say, when God chooses you, like He has chosen you, it's out of your hands. It's out of control. Oh, I also work with Josh Milan. It's out of your hands. And some of these people I never knew. Every single one of them came and they asked me, can I work with them? Now I know that got to be a blessing.
Oh, yes.
Because I'm the kind of person, if I go to your party, you play my song or not, listen, I'm not here for you to, Koffee's here, you know, but whether you play it or not, I'm fine. Whether you like it or not, I'm good. And what these producers done for me, I will never forget. They reached out to me, and some of these producers, I will say, are the same ones that said, "Oh no, Koffee, no, I just really don't. I'm not sure about spoken word. I like what you do," and they said this without really knowing what kind of artist I was. And when I get into the studio and I say, no, we're gonna arrange it this way, they're looking like, freaking know what she's doing. And so a lot of these producers, most of them have come to me and asked me to work with them. And so that's a blessing.
You know, okay, the first thing I'm going to say with that regard is, you know, it's like it was back, I don't know, maybe about 10 years ago, he made that song. Back then, you didn't know me. Now I'm hot. You're all on me. Anyway.
Isn't that something?
But wait a minute. Let me share something else with you. All right. So.
Wait, T for time.
Go ahead.
Johnny Dangerous. I've had the privilege of working with. I beat that bitch with a bat. I had to get that in Johnny Dangerous as well.
Okay. All right. So now, listen. So, it's one thing to hear her on the music. It's powerful. But what you've got to do is see her perform. Let me tell you something. Like the energy is like, it's like so strong. It's like it'll knock a building down. I mean, like, let me tell you something. All right. So some people do what they do and God bless them. But some people, you can feel the power. You can feel the energy. You can feel the presence. I'm telling you, you got to check her out live. I mean, it's like, it's another level type stuff. And it's,
damn.
I'm just telling you like a T.I. is. That's all. I'm telling you like a T.I. is. That's all. I'm just telling you. It's
Thank
true.
you, babe.
She, I mean, listen, let me tell you what. Presence. You talk about presence? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. How about some places that you performed, and is there any place you want to perform?
I was asked to go overseas, but I'm just not. To me, it seems like just going overseas doesn't make or break you. I'm just a humble artist. To be honest, I'm afraid to go overseas by myself. And when they tell me they can't pay for nobody to go with me, just me, I'm like, yo, I ain't got to do all that. But I do know that that is something that is on my bucket list because I see them dancing overseas. I see when I got to shout out to Nani Vega. That sister plays me hard. And you know, she reaches out to me, and be looking out for some stuff with Nani Vega.
Okay.
You know, and when I see people overseas, the Latino countries dancing to KOFFEE and so forth, and on the beaches and things like that, I know that is a place I need to get to. But I'm just never big on too much of anything, you know. There's a lot. I've been to Chicago. I've been basically all over the states of the United States where I wanted to go. But I'm a funny artist, you know. Sometimes you know, if I'm not feeling something, it's just no. Yeah, I'm pretty much open to start traveling again and doing things.
Now, you know, okay, speaking of that, what's your perspective on this? In the United States, no, let's say in this general area, most of the audience is black and brown. Not to say they don't have here, but if you go into New York, you have a whole different flow in many cases. Now, if you go to Europe, and you don't have
Same
people look like us.
music, yep.
Okay, you go to South. I mean, like, what was? I guess what's your reaction? And you're saying, well, wait a minute, hold it. You know, in northern New Jersey, again, mostly black and brown, and you go to these other places. Even I see Steve Howerton running things in North Carolina. And
Yes.
and the audiences don't necessarily look like all of us.
That's right.
What's your perception of how this thing connects, how it accepts, and I don't know, are we limited in northern New Jersey in terms of our
Reaching
reach?
out.
Our reach. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, New York is always a melting pot. Now,
Right,
You
okay.
know, New Jersey was always like, if you say you're from Jersey, you know, and it's always us, you know, is always. Now, when Zanzibar was there, we had all kinds of people up in there. It was a melting pot. But the Black Box, you know, a melting pot. But I think I gotta commend Ab because he brings something put it right in the district where there's white, black, Spanish, all types of people. So I see more people of different races coming in. I think we need to do something. My thought is in New Jersey, reach out to those different DJs of different ethnic groups and put together something massive. And bring everybody and call it a unity party and have your blacks, whites, and let everybody feel everything. You know what we're about. New York don't have to work so hard because it's already a melting pot.
Right.
I've been partying in New York practically when I first started really getting into my music. New York, to be honest, showed me love first.
Right.
And I will admit that they showed me love first. And I felt so overwhelmed because when I would always go every weekend Coney Island Boardwalk and hear my music bouncing off the water on the boardwalk, and everybody, you know, no matter what color, white, black, Chinese, everybody knowing my music. That did it for me. But over here in Jersey, sometimes it's the click and the vibe that, you know, you get people sitting down at the parties. Remove the chairs.
Okay.
Remove the chairs. That way, everybody got to stand up. And when you hear the music, you got to do something. You know, remove the chairs, remove the tables. but you know, we could do more to reach out to different nationalities.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, who doesn't love for people to sweat to their music?
Yes.
I mean,
let me see you sweating.
Now, okay, so listen to this question. When you finish a track, do you know it's a hit?
Sometimes God wake me up in the middle of the night like, boom. Okay, Koffee, this is going to be a serious ride. And sometimes me and my producer feel that same boom. And sometimes I know. Sometimes I don't know. You have any water, Dan?
Oh, yeah. Chop?
We live.
Get some water.
And I'm sorry, I was recording all yesterday with Jahaz, and my voice is a little bit scratchy. And you know, sometimes I know it's a hit, but sometimes I don't know. And when it become a hit, I be saying, "Well, damn, that's the song that I didn't think would become a hit," and everybody likes that particular song. So sometimes I don't know.
Name a surprise.
Welcome to my club.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know, you know, because it was my very first time working with Adam Rios. And so, I said, well, I don't know where this song is going to go. And thank you so much, baby. I appreciate you. Thank you. Excuse me. And so it was the year of it. I think it came out in January. And it was the Winter Music Conference in Miami. And I knew because everybody that was having a party was calling my manager at that time, could we get book Koffee to perform in Miami? And so I said, what in the world is going on here? You know, the Winter Music Conference. And so every party was playing Welcome to My Club. And I had no idea that song would have done anything. So that's one. Paradise. Like I told you, I didn't know how big Quentin Harris was.
Right.
And it makes it so bad is that I wrote that song on a fly. We went into the studio, and so I said, well, shit, I just freestyle something, Quentin Harris, And so Little Ray was letting me know Quentin Harris is real big, but I didn't know Quentin Harris. Right. So when he let me hear the song, we was all in the studio chilling, having a good time, filling each other out. And so when I heard the track, I said, damn, this sound like Paradise. And I went,
okay.
Paradise. Okay. And so once I get a title, now I got the whole, it just starts coming. And so, but when I wrote it, and he said, Koffee, I love it. I like it. We're going to, I didn't know that was going to be no hit. I didn't know Strictly Rhythm was going to pick it up. I didn't know anything. So that's another one that I didn't know. Luke Orbea, In the Ghetto. That was a big seller. And I meant to also shout out Hippie Torrales. I'm so sorry. Hippie Torrales, I love you so much. I had such a wonderful time in the studio with him and Jose Burgess. That's why I said I got the list, but I know it's going to be other people that I forget. But yeah.
Folks, I'm out of fingers and toes. I went through my eyeballs, my nostrils.
Stop it there. Knuckles? Oh my God.
I gotta go to Knuckles.
He's something else.
Yeah. Well, that's really incredible. I mean, I actually Ken Burns did this thing called jazz, and he talked about, and one of the people he talked about, for example, Louis Armstrong, which I really didn't realize how big he was until I saw that song. Of course, I remember the song "Hello Down." He says but he was telling the story. And this is going back to what you were saying. He tells the story. Louis Armstrong's on the road, and then he and the people start saying, "Do that song, do that song." I said, "What song are they talking about?" He said, "Do the song from the show, I said, "What song are you talking about?" So then I think it was his manager came back and says, you know the song? You did the show. What song you talking about? He said, Hello, Dolly. And that was the song. He did it, forgot about it, and all of a sudden he's out on the road, and all of a sudden
They
and
want
it
that
blew
song.
up. Yeah, so I'm just saying, so I'm hearing you and saying, listen, you know, sometimes you can feel something that's hot, but then sometimes you did it and you just didn't know it was going to get legs out there. So.
Not at all. I'm like, that song, okay. Now I gotta learn the lyrics because a lot of songs I just write off the fly, and I don't remember the lyrics now. So when somebody book me, I gotta be like, oh, they want me to do that song. Oh shoot, I gotta remember. You know. And one song I'm gonna tell you that gets me. I love to perform it, and that's Zanzibar Bar Days.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing that song because it just brings us all together. It makes us think of Zanzibar. But when I first started performing that song, it was so much to it. I kept saying, oh damn, I found myself repeating the same lines over and over again. But as long as I kept saying Zanzibar Days, everybody said, okay, but I got to go back and study this song. So a lot of songs I do, it's I gotta remember the lyrics.
Listen, that's a part too that people don't see. That even when you write the lyrics, you still, after a while, you don't do them for a while, and then you gotta let me go back and look that up.
Yes.
And then you gotta get the timing down. So anyway. Wow.
And that's another thing that I said is so hard as a spoken word artist because we're not singers. So at least a singer can hold a tune if they forgot a verse or two and take you somewhere else. I just gotta freestyle some stuff up. I gotta rhyme it with this word. What's the last word I said? I gotta rhyme it with May. Hey, I gotta rhyme it with Boo. You. I gotta think. Think.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are behind the scenes.
Definitely. I gotta.
Now, okay. Let's talk about working student. Tell us your thinking, your mindset when you go in the studio. I mean, do you 100% know what you want to do, or you get there, you have a general idea, and then you adjust on the spot? I mean, how did, and then the other part of it, do you prefer the studio or performing live? So just your mindset when you go, anyway.
My love is the studio.
Okay.
Because as a young girl, 17, my life was basically lived in studios overnight. And that's how we did it. It was just one love overnight. A bunch of us hardcore young kids just sleeping in the studio. It could be freezing cold, no heat, recording in a little closet over there, So I really, really love creating. More so than I do being on stage. I love being on stage because when you have me on stage, I feel like I have to give you my all. And giving you my all takes a whole lot of me. Because I'm from an era where you're an artist, you get on stage, and you present yourself like an artist. That means you come dressed, you come ready, you come with your dancers, you come to give a show. And that's how it always stuck with, sometimes you see artists look like they get on stage like they just rolled out of bed. And they just rolled out of bed in pajamas, and they're just so mundane, and it's just like, na-na-na-na-na-na-na. I used to, when I first started performing, I used to dance in stilettos. Well, now the stilettos went to just Edos. So my little Edos, but I still got to kind of move and groove because I have to bring a presence to my crowd because they deserve that. And it makes me upset when I see artists that just get up there, they don't put no thought process, they just up there, they're just there. And I think I have been blessed with a crowd that if I say, fist up, I look around and they are with me. If I say, throw your hands up, they are with me.
All right.
And so, and so I've been blessed to have a crowd that really, really work with me. If I'm speaking of Zanzibar Days, they coming up, yes, Coffee. I just been blessed in that area, but I prefer studio.
Okay. Yeah.
But every now and then I show my face on the stage.
Listen, let me tell you something. I'm telling you, folks, the real, you gotta see her perform live, and she does bring a show. A lot of artists, you know what? I was having a conversation yesterday with Wally B, and I said, like my first love is DJing. Mm-hmm. That's my first love, and I love to do an interview.
And you do it so damn well.
Well, thank you.
Because I've heard you dance. I said, what? What? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, but so we were talking. I says, like a lot of people get upset because certain people get on a lot, but I always say a couple of things. Number one, first of all, hey, you probably don't know their backstory. Meaning, you don't know all the times they showed up and nobody was there. You don't know all the times that they were supposed to get this and that happened.
Yeah.
You don't know all the times that they stumbled and fumbled. You don't know. All you see is the finished product.
Yeah.
And you know what? But if you look at these guys, many of these 20, 30 years they've been out there. 40 years sometimes they've been out there. Hard working. Right. And then, I hear some of them, and I'm like, okay. Like watch this. So, Jihad Muhammad, I know you're working with him. Like, Jihad is not necessarily playing, but he'll still come out and network, connect with people.
Does.
Say hello to people. He'll take pictures. He really could say, don't you know who I am? Mm-hmm. But he's not like that.
Nope.
And I'm saying, Naeem was one of the first people to give me an interview. Back when everybody was suffering from a bad case of damn who?
I remember those days there, but honey, you kept going, and that's what I love.
But that's what I'm really saying is that. But you, and we were talking. He says, Dan. He says, look, you got to realize, you got to be an entertainer. It's no longer, you could play, because a lot of guys can play, but you got to bring the entertainment value to it. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay. So I said, well, listen, I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to wear stilettos. That's out.
Why? We want to see stilettos, man.
That's out.
We want to see stilettos. I'll introduce you now. On the stage with me is my man DJ Dan and his stilettos. Come on out, Dan.
Nah. Anyway, so, but and that's why I go back to what you said. Is you present, you put on a show, you have your dancers, you're speaking. It's powerful. I mean, it's really, really real. I'm telling you, folks. I'm telling you like a TI is. You need to see her perform live. I'm telling you. You will walk away saying, "Woo! What just happened?" That's right. She's a force. Wow. Hey, so I know. What can you share that you have coming up? That you have going on. What can you share?
Well, one thing that I am very, 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 very excited about. My homie. Y'all call him J Hot. Mm-hmm. Y'all call him J Hot Muhammad. And I call him J Hot. Mm-hmm. We're both from Hooterville, but you might know it as Velsburg.
Okay.
The Bricks.
Okay.
And one thing about Jihad, he's such I'm just going to say a strong brother in his spot. Mm-hmm. And he's a hard-working brother. Mm-hmm. And like you said, he shows up. He does a lot of things for a lot of people that he don't even mention. Mm-hmm. And, we knew one day we would get together. Mm. So just imagine all these years. Mm-hmm. Now, Jihad did remix In the Ghetto, and he's remixed some of my songs, but that's different than actually working with him.
Right.
So we will always say, yeah, Coffee, he'd say, Coffee, I got you, Coffee, I got you. Mm-hmm. And so, I knew that he's a man of his word, and when it happens, I know it will be in God's time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But when he called me, Dan, and said, Coffee, I got the track for you.
Uh-oh.
I could have, no matter who all I named them, I was like, you do J Hot? I was so overwhelmed and happy when he sent me the track, Beyond Fire. So when he sent me the track, I said, oh, Lord, okay. I wrote about damn near everything. What can I do? What can I do to bring a equal asset to this track? It's called The Main Event.
Okay. All right.
And it's called The Main Event, and you guys are going to hear why it's called The Main Event. And that working with him just really, if that's the last, every time I say this, this is the last time I'm going to make a song. But it's like every time when I say, I'm not doing any more shows, I'm not doing, it seems like God says, no, you stop when I tell you to stop. Because I have it, like, I just want to be a grandmother to my grandson, take him to the dojo, come home, you know. And God said, nope, got something else for you to do. But this with Jihad Muhammad means a lot to me, and I need to shout him out. Out of everybody he could have asked, and he asked me, and I'm just excited about this.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna do it for the very first time at the All White Affair in Linden.
Okay. Okay.
With
Tamir?
Eric Clark. Tamir, I just want to shout that brother out too, because he's another legendary brother who's been putting on all of these events before anybody started putting these events and outdoor parties together. Tamir was doing the damn thing. So there's a lot of us in the business that's been doing a lot of things. Like people say to me, Coffee, you missed a party. I would say, no, baby, I ain't missed a damn thing.
Okay.
Because I can tell you some parties that you truly missed, that you ain't never been at, you know. And so for Tamir, I think Jihad and I, we're going to introduce the song. We may do that as a treat. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna write it down.
Oh, you gonna hold me to my
I'm gonna hold you to
the main event.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, listen. I'm excited about it. Anytime Jihad puts out something that's dope, anytime you put something out that's dope. So just imagine you two together. Forget about it.
Yeah. Wow. And I was nervous when I wrote it, right?
Yeah.
So when I went into the studio, I said, oh my God, what if you don't really like it? Because I'm the worst person that's in my own way all the time. Sometimes I think people thinking is, they don't like me. Then I said, hey, Kofi, we love you. I said, what the hell was I thinking? I am always in my own way. Hey, I said, nobody care. Hey, Kofi, and so because when I wrote the song, I was in my own way, own head, and I said, he probably ain't gonna like this. Oh boy. I said, well, maybe I gotta change this. Maybe I gotta change it. So I went in the studio, and I always can tell when I get in the vocal booth, and then either your producer is like, but as I'm put some music on, I'm like, okay, let me go. And so I see Jihad like, I'm like,
slow.
oh shit now, excuse me, I'm sorry for cursing. Oh shoot now, and he bobbing his head. So I'm getting kind of nervous. I said, oh wait a minute, Jihad, scratch that. I think I was off beat. He turns around. Coffee, you wasn't off beat. Oh, okay. Let me keep going. And so then I go again. I said, oh, wait a minute. Jihad, I think I came in. Coffee, you didn't come. You came in right when you were supposed to. Oh, okay. And so because I was a little bit overwhelmed and nervous, and my girlfriend Linda was with me. She said, Coffee, she says real loud, get out of your own head. But it is a really nice song.
Wow. Well, a lot of times we're our own worst critics.
Yes.
Because we sometimes it's like we imagine it here, it comes out this way, but like almost like instinctually you get it right, but you overthink it. And you go,
Right.
oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking
man,
about.
I should have played that. I should have played this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
God,
Oh,
why
yeah.
didn't I bring that song in? Because I should have put. Oh, goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Jahar
Oh, yeah.
said, Coffee, everything is right. Then I go again, and I see him pop his house. Wait a minute, hold on, Jahar. I said, damn, what in the hell is wrong with me? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, listen, you know, I can't wait to hear it. And of course, you know, I'm going to support you anyway. I could do that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. So, how about this question here?
Anything.
What would be like, let's say I'm a person who's considering getting, whether it's spoken word or, and you say, hey, listen, you've been in the game for a while. And you know, when you do things for a while, you learn some things.
Right.
So, what would see some things that you learn? Let's say I was sitting there and say, hey, Coffee, look, I'm really interested. You know, I really like the spoken word, or I like to hear, and I want to get in the business. I'm not really sure what I do. Would you give me a couple of things I should be paying attention to as far as your goes?
Well, one thing as a DJ, you have a musical ear.
Mm-hmm.
Either it's hot or it's not.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the formula.
Right.
If you hear somebody that just sounds like, remove the music,
Mm-hmm.
remove the reverbs.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound like something that really would make you move?
Mm.
Does it sound like something that's really professional, or that they really know what they're doing?
Mm-hmm.
And you could take, if it doesn't, then you use your own judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes producers, if you're talking about producing something,
Mm-hmm.
producers can make magic happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you basically want an artist that knows what to do.
Mm-hmm.
That knows their craft.
Mm-hmm.
An artist knows their craft because it's God gifted. They could do it with their eyes closed.
Mm-hmm.
You could, you know, somebody that's trying so hard to become. Well, and if you're new and they're new, sometimes it's just a lucky draw that maybe might be a hit out of that. I don't know, you know, because sometimes you see hits coming out of two new people just doing something. But when you really want to take spoken word serious, you got to do it with someone that really understands music. Because spoken word is being perceived as anybody can do it. Anybody can do spoken word.
Right.
Anybody can do spoken word, but
Okay.
everybody can't do it professionally and sonically correct.
Got you. Well, you know, that's like watching an operation on PBS and say, oh, boy, I'm going to go in
Here
there.
you go, y'all. That's it.
I'm going to go in there. Let's see. He don't need the liver. Let's get rid of the liver. That's right. Let's see. He got 2 lungs. We can get rid of that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of time and energy.
It's a lot of work.
So, because here's what I'm hearing too. It's the thoughts, it's the putting it on paper, it's this performing it.
The delivery.
Okay, that's the right word. The delivery. It's all those things, and I'm going to take a wild guess. That's not an overnight thing, huh?
It's not an overnight thing.
Yeah.
It's something that it takes time. It's a journey. Like I've done many things that I said, ooh, I would never do that again. You know, and so it's a learning process. Just like a DJ, you might really, your first set, you might really say, I had the crowd dancing, but I ain't never doing that again. And you learn as you go. You know, and the problem is, like I said, plenty of people come into the business instead of being humble. Like you said, you got with certain DJs that you knew were out there. Hey, listen, that me being an artist, I got with certain artists that you know were out there. You know, that helped me out a lot. You know, producers because I really was in a lane by myself. It was producers like Jovan is one producer that people don't know. He started out in hip hop. DJ Spinner, Vincent. He's a hip hop artist. He's a hip hop DJ. So those artists, DJs, are the ones that kind of guided me or what I kind of should do. But really, in particularly, Jovan showed me, Koffee, you want to do it like this. You want to do it like that. And that's why I always give props to them or to him, because I didn't know. A spoken word artist come in and they just hear, I could talk, I could say this, and I could do this. Hey, my man's a DJ, put me down and stuff, because they might think they got the look.
Right.
I never really cared about the damn look, to be honest. I've always, like you said, I was a beautician. So my style, if anybody know me outside of music, they know that I always had style. I always like styling people. My daughter is now a big time salon owner because I raised my kids in a beauty salon.
We could talk about that off here, because I have a thing that I'm doing, but we're going to have to talk about that off. Especially
Okay.
You mentioned you raised her in that business. We won't talk about that. I'm going to talk to after the show
You
about
got
that.
it.
All right. One of the things that I think is very, very powerful is your willingness to share.
Absolutely. Got to give back.
Yeah, your willingness to share. And I think that's very, very powerful. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm that's the only way you grow is when you give back. I've had a nasty taste in my mouth by someone that I had really, really opened up to, a spoken word artist. I won't mention her name, but there was a time when she was just under me, and I would have her on my show. I kept calling her back to be on my show because I was friends with someone that was friends with her. And what hurted me so much, and I think I held on to that hostility till I had to pray. Because you ever went out of your way to really make sure somebody was straight, and then when they feel as though they arrived, they just come back and kick you all in the teeth, all in the back, like whatever you did was just nothing. Some people say, hey, look, it's been so many years, get over it. You can't never tell a person when to get over their hurt. Don't ever tell a person when to get over their hurt. A person have to either get over it on their own or hold on to it and say, well, one day I have to answer to God for not being so forgiving, because this particular hurt I can't get over. And so I had put my all into this particular person, and they just went on a radio show, kicked me all in the back, just so much of everything to it made me say, I can't I'm not helping nobody anymore.
Well, listen, let me share something with you, all right? So, again, so I got this idea. I was doing a show called Follow My Beat. And Follow My Beat was real, I used to say it was current events with a twist. And I brought on all kinds of people, whether it's politician, artists, DJ, I mean, you name it, doctors, breast cancer survivors, HIV. So, I mean, you name it, I brought just different people to speak about different things. And then I could decide, I'm going to do this thing with house, because I really started to, I love house, but I was like, I need to really go hard with this, because I really like it. So I was in Military Park, and there was this guy on stage who I knew him around because he was pretty prominent in the business. And I saw him at the back. He had come off the stage, and he went in the back, and I sat down, and I started having a conversation, and I said, well, I'm doing this show called Soulful House Nation. Would you come on and be my guest? And he says, sure. All right. It was very nice. He said, sure. And I was like, okay. I said to myself,
Yes, I nailed one.
So I called him. He said he would do it, and he came through. And my very first guest was Eddie Nicholas.
That's my Eddie. Well, you're listen, I'm not surprised at that.
Yes,
He's very, he's a give back type guy with a beautiful heart. He happens to be one of my best friends.
Yes. So that was my first interview. But again,
Really?
just going back,
I didn't know that.
people giving to you. Hey, Beloved gave me an interview. Dawn Tolman gave me an interview. Magic gave me an interview. Strafe gave me an interview.
Look at that.
Lynn Lockamy.
Look at that.
Let's see. Glenn Williams before he passed through the sound.
I gave you an interview too.
Yeah.
Remember before this one?
Exactly. Came to my office. And that's when she had the
the boots.
the thigh high boots.
Came stepping in there for Dan.
So all I'm saying is, I really been blessed, and I really appreciate it, because I'm telling you something. You like when you have an idea, you really don't know if it's gonna work.
You don't know.
You just
throw it out there. Hope this sticks to the wall.
Yeah. So anyway, but a lot of people have really been good to me. Naeem, I didn't mention Naeem. Yeah. So I mean,
Sultan.
Sultan. Lenny Fontana. Like a lot of people gave me some love. Did I mention Dawn Tolman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of people gave me love, and I mean, from my perspective, I really my first female DJ was DJ That Girl Curly.
She bad as heck. Yes.
So
Dancing DJ Curly.
Yes. So like I say, so a lot. I've been blessed to do this, and it's kind of like I say to myself, well, hey, I guess I'm on the right track, because people have said yes. When again, many people, especially in the beginning, was suffering from bad cases. Damn, who?
That's what they do. That's what they did. I remember. Damn, who? Yeah.
So I think for me, I always, like you talk about, pay homage. I always want to pay homage to
yes,
them,
it's important.
I really appreciate it. And sometimes things don't go well, but I wouldn't, nobody can tell you this and that, but God bless you, for sharing with me.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
But I know Louie Vega, she said to me, she said, Koffee, you need to do a song and call it Mother Juice.
Juice, okay.
Yes, and so I said, ooh, that is my kind of title, Mother Juice. So, there are a lot of sisters that, women are on a different platform. Sometimes they so full of, I want to say hating on each other. And I always been a kind of woman that, hey, hi, sister, you look good. Nice shoes. Hey, I can help. And when I noticed that a lot of times, I would get like hate back, I'll pretend like I don't see it, and I'm going to still make you speak to me, because that's just the kind of person I am. I did a song, wrote a song for Dawn Tolman. She came in. I had her come down. This is years ago, but we're going to rebirth the song. It's called I Believe. And it's called I Believe.
Okay.
And Adam Rios is mixing it down now, doing a lot of different things to bring that song back to life, and it's called I Believe. But Dawn Tolman is the most she's the most sweetest lady there is, and you could just have a whole bunch of fun with her, because she's down to earth. And like Stephanie Cook, so many women have welcomed me in to their, just showing me different things of what I need to do. So paying homage is a lot of is everything, Dan. And what I noticed that, a lot of people kind of got it misconstrued when I say the first flowtress of house. Like I said, people went on the radio to call herself the first flowtress of house. People can call themselves whatever they want to call themselves, whatever their title is was what their title is. But when I came into this scene, I was the first one doing what I do. And I mean, not the first flowtress, of course not the first spoken word artist, of course not. But this is what I present as a solo artist over house music. And I'm going to write you some hits. That's what I'm going to do. And from me doing that, all of the spoken word, and I'm going to say all of them, connected with me at one point or another. Coffee, I really like what you do. I'm inspired. I love what you do. I do write poetry. You encourage me to do, a song too or whatever. But what I don't like about the spoken word artists is none of them ever say I was inspired by coffee.
You know what?
And that it bothers me to a degree, but not really. It bothers me to a degree because whether you like me or not, whether I like somebody or not, this person is what made me say this is what this is what I want to do or the direction I want to go in. None of them ever mention me. So none of these people, see, I have a catalog that you can Google that goes back. None of these people were artists ever. So they come into the scene and they become artists. They don't make any mention. And instead it feels like they go on a hateration against me instead. Or then they say, I've been doing this for years. Or I've been doing this for a long time. I had one sister steal my bio. And then I'm reading, I said, well, damn, that's everything on my bio. And just instead of saying, I gotta shout out Coffee, because she made me get in touch with my poetic side. None of them. And each one of them have contacted me, letting me know, hey, look, you encouraged me. This is what I'm going to do. None of them mention it. Different from singers. Singers will say, hey, look, Kenny Bobian got me started. I always hear Cream pay homage to Kenny Bobian and different artists and stuff like that. But the spoken word people that come out, they just be on some other stuff. I don't know.
Let's go to the next level here. Let's what can we look for, and what's the highlight for you, and what can we look forward that you can share? Okay, now you mentioned the main event. You also, I don't know if you slipped or not, but you mentioned mentioned Mother Juice. You mentioned something with Dawn Tallman. So I'm listening.
You are listening. You really said it all.
So all right. And then also, we're gonna keep talking it up about the White Affair, and he usually does that in June. Tamir.
The 24th.
Okay, June 24th. So we're gonna hope that happens. So you got a lot going on then.
A lot going on, and my job keeps me busy too. I do work for Isaiah House, and we are a shelter. Over the past 35 years, we have fed, clothed, homed over tens of thousands of people. And so I just got the platform to, after having a meeting with Ted Green, to be able to do some park concerts.
Okay.
In Elmwood Park.
Okay.
So I just haven't gotten to the part where I got time. Let me map this out. The summer, messing with me. The summer came and went, and nothing happened. But I do have the platform to do some things in Elmwood Park and to bring some things to Elmwood Park. And I would like to bring some spoken word artists out. I would like to do that along with some other artists as well.
Fantastic. Listen, we way past the wire.
Oh,
so
all right.
If people want to follow you, first of all, any final thoughts? And then if people want to follow you, keep up with you, support you, how do they do it? Any final thoughts?
Right. So, please. I thank you, Dan. Once again, thank you for thinking of me, brother. I love you. I love your smile. I love your energy, and I love your vibe and everything that you're doing, whether it's DJing or bringing us artists to the table to give us a platform. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I really do. So, but moving forward, I say the question again.
Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts would be, if you believe in yourself, if you know that there's something that you always wanted to do, it's never too late. No matter who believes in you or who don't, always remember Coffee's story. In the beginning of my journey, nobody really believed in me.
Coffee who?
Coffee Paige, Coffee the first flowtress of house, or Coffee the storyteller. Nobody believed in me but me and the man upstairs. But because I had such a strong belief in what God wanted me to do in the assignment, it became all of this. Don't allow nobody to make you feel like you're not worthy. If you have a talent and you know that you're good at it, go for it. Present it to the world. That's my final thought.
If people want to
Follow me.
Support you, how do they do it?
Definitely on Facebook, and that's Coffee Paige, the first flowtress of house. I also do TikTok a little bit. Coffee Paige there, and then Instagram. Coffee, the first flowtress of house. I am working on a website. That's another thing that's on my bucket list to make happen. I've been working on this one measly website for a whole year. I started and then I, put it down, but I will have a website.
Okay.
Yeah, soon enough.
Wow.
See it. I'll put it on. I'll say, Dan, can I come in just to let everybody know my website?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We listen, folks. We're way past the wire. So what difference does it make at this point?
None. We house heads. Let the party continue.
That's right. Well, listen, I just want to say thanks a lot. I mean, again, you've always been very gracious with me, and I really appreciate it. And like you've got a long history of success in this business. And if I'm thinking about spoken word, I definitely want to reach out to you.
I might, babe.
I might, but when I thought about it, I came to my senses.
Well, if you thought about it, that means that is your senses. Don't put it in the back burner. Reach out to it. Tap into it.
Well, anyway. Listen, I'm perhaps at least in the top 10 greatest shower singers in the world. Anyway,
Thanks, Sam.
But listen, so much. It's really a pleasure, folks, for Coffee to come out and spend time with us and share thoughts. And there's so many nuggets here in the conversations. And this is the kind of interview that you need to go back over a couple of times, because sometimes you hear something and you don't really know what you heard. So I'm just going to say thanks again, Coffee. Thank you.
Anytime. No, you are too bad. Us artists really appreciate you. Just your kindness about everything as well.
Yeah.
I was late, you guys. Y'all should know me, always late. But I was late, and I kept saying, oh, my God, I can't be early for anything. And usually people say, Coffee, you're late. But Dan was just so calm. He said, it's okay. We'll get it together. And that's the type of brother he is. And he just calmed my storm before I got here.
Well, good. Listen, folks, thank you so much for coming out and hanging out. Well, I tell you what, usually we would be into the Shazam free zone, so just so you know what it is. So we're going to play about 15 minutes anyway. So what it is really every week we play new stuff that we haven't played before. And the whole idea is so that you can hear it. Because, all the things that you call hits start somewhere. So I just want to at least, make a little contribution to playing some stuff. And not only do we play it, but we say it. We say, okay, this is such and such, whatever, and that hits. And you'll be surprised what. A quick little story. So one day I played this track, and I had this guy call me, Dan, that track was terrible. Why'd you play that track? Then Dawood was doing the thing the Thursday nights at the Cafe Z. I get down there that night, and this guy goes, Dan, you played that track. I loved that track. And I put that track right on. So listen, I'm going to play it. You say it, and sometimes, too, maybe you're not feeling something right off the bat, but then you go, wait a minute, hold it. Nah, I get it.
I get it.
Yeah, but again, my whole thing is Shazam Free Zone. I'll play it. I'll say what it is. and then you be the judge. And then, you don't have to Shazam it. I'm going to tell you what it is. How about that?
One last thing. I got to shout out DJ, producer, Stem Diesel. Okay. If you haven't heard this song that we did, it is hot to death. It's Coffee and DJ Stem Diesel.
Fantastic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am DJ Dan, Soulful House Nation. I'm coming to you live from the 8th floor. We're getting ready to go into the Shazam Free Zone. We're going to play for about 15 minutes or so. I'm here with the wonderful, let me tell you something, the fabulously dressed, the fashion coordinated, everything down to the matches.
Thank you, baby.
Yes. And hey, get ready.
Get ready.
Get ready.
I love you so much. I'm hooked up on something.
Okay, I know.
Oh.